How did a regime that once dominated a continent collapse so utterly? Beyond the battlefield, a series of profound strategic miscalculations and ideological rigidities systematically dismantled Nazi Germany's war machine. Today, we delve into the critical historical analysis of Adolf Hitler's 10 most devastating mistakes, offering insights into the complex interplay of military, political, and economic factors that sealed his fate. Adolf Hitler, often presented by his own propaganda as an infallible leader, presided over a regime built on a foundation of aggressive expansionism and racial ideology. Yet, beneath this veneer of power lay a pattern of strategic blunders that would ultimately lead to its catastrophic downfall. This analysis aims to dissect these pivotal decisions, providing researchers with a deeper understanding of the operational and geopolitical missteps that proved irreversible. Hitler's decision to invade the Soviet Union in June 1941, codenamed Operation Barbarossa, stands as a monumental strategic miscalculation. This move opened a vast, resource-intensive Eastern Front while Germany was still actively engaged in the West, violating a fundamental principle of military strategy: avoiding a two-front war. The brutal Russian winter, coupled with extended supply lines and fierce Soviet resistance, quickly transformed the initial blitzkrieg into a protracted war of attrition, draining Germany's finite military and economic resources. A critical flaw in Hitler's strategic thinking was his profound underestimation of the Soviet Union's resilience and industrial capacity. Driven by ideological contempt, he believed the USSR would collapse within weeks, failing to account for its vast manpower reserves and its ability to relocate critical industries beyond the reach of German forces. This misjudgment ensured Germany was ill-prepared for the long, grinding conflict that ensued, a war it could not logistically or economically sustain. Hitler's increasingly rigid command structure often forbade tactical retreats, even when strategically necessary to preserve forces. German generals, recognizing the dire operational realities, frequently requested withdrawals to consolidate lines or save encircled units. However, Hitler's insistence on fighting to the last man, exemplified by the catastrophic siege of Stalingrad, led to immense and often unnecessary losses, eroding troop morale and decimating experienced units. Following Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, Hitler voluntarily declared war on the United States, a decision that remains a subject of intense historical debate. This act brought the world's largest industrial and economic power, with its immense untapped potential, fully into the European conflict. It was a geopolitical blunder that guaranteed Germany would face an insurmountable coalition, fundamentally altering the balance of power against the Axis. As the war progressed, Hitler increasingly sidelined and ignored the advice of his most experienced military commanders, trusting his own intuition and ideological convictions above all else. This erosion of the German General Staff's authority led to a series of disastrous strategic decisions, where professional military pragmatism was supplanted by personal obsession and political dogma. The consequences were repeated operational failures and a growing disconnect between command and battlefield reality. Nazi Germany's brutal occupation policies and systematic terror campaigns across Europe proved strategically counterproductive. Instead of quelling resistance, these actions fueled fierce partisan movements and widespread civilian opposition. The resources diverted to suppress these uprisings, coupled with the constant sabotage and intelligence gathering by resistance networks, significantly hampered Germany's war effort and strengthened the resolve of its enemies. Hitler's late-war obsession with Wunderwaffen or wonder weapons diverted critical resources from the production of proven conventional armaments. While technologically advanced, projects like the V-2 rocket and jet aircraft were developed too slowly and in insufficient numbers to alter the strategic balance. This misallocation of industrial capacity meant that by the time these experimental weapons became operational, Germany had already lost the war of attrition and air superiority. Germany's war economy suffered from chronic mismanagement and a failure to fully mobilize its industrial potential until late in the conflict. Civilian needs were increasingly neglected in favor of military production. Yet even this was often inefficiently organized. Allied bombing campaigns systematically dismantled Germany's industrial base and infrastructure, accelerating the collapse of its economic capacity to sustain a prolonged, total war. Hitler's racist ideology and aggressive expansionism alienated potential allies and pushed neutral nations into the Allied camp. Instead of fostering a broader coalition, Germany's policies created a climate of fear and hostility, leaving it increasingly isolated on the global stage. This diplomatic failure ensured that Germany faced a vast and growing alliance without significant international support, a critical disadvantage in a world war. Perhaps Hitler's most profound and destructive mistake was his absolute refusal to acknowledge or accept defeat, even as the Third Reich crumbled around him. His delusional belief in a miraculous turnaround led to the senseless prolongation of the war, resulting in millions of additional deaths and the utter devastation of Germany. This final act of ideological rigidity ensured total destruction, leaving a legacy not of victory, but of catastrophic failure and unparalleled human suffering. We hope this analytical overview has provided valuable insights into the strategic missteps that led to the downfall of Nazi Germany. For researchers and students of history, understanding these critical junctures is paramount. If this deep dive into historical analysis resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more rigorous explorations of pivotal historical events. We encourage you to share your own perspectives in the comments below. Which of Hitler's mistakes do you consider the most impactful and why? History offers invaluable lessons, reminding us that even immense power, when coupled with ideological rigidity and strategic incompetence, is ultimately unsustainable. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the complexities of the past. We look forward to our next historical exploration.